Hello and welcome to Siyasat TV. I'm Sumayya Junaid Ahmed bringing you the news. Here are the headlines.
Filmmaker Anurag Kashyap, actor Taapsee Pannu faces income tax raid. After 2014 election, opposition fighting battle for India, not for power, says Rahul Gandhi. Karnataka minister quits on moral ground amid row over alleged sex tape. Expressing views different from government's not sedition, says Supreme Court. 29-year-old software engineer stabbed at home by stalker in Cyberabad, says police. Woman throws 2-year-old boy from second floor of building in Hyderabad. In talks with Myanmar military, Association of Southeast Asian Nation urges halt to violence. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan tells Macron cooperation has very serious potential.
Let's begin with our top story. Income tax officials carried out searches today at properties linked to filmmaker Anurag Kashyap and actor Taapsee Pannu in Mumbai over alleged tax evasion. Searches took place at nearly 20 locations in Mumbai and Pune, including premises linked to the talent agency as well as Phantom Films, which was co-promoted by Anurag Kashyap and producer Vikas Bhal and Madhu Matena.
Anurag Kashyap and Taapsee Pannu are outspoken critics of the government and have lent their voices on various causes, including ongoing farmers' protests against central laws. Recently, Ms. Pannu had criticized the show of solidarity by celebrities towards the government in response to pop star Rihanna's post drawing attention of the farmers' agitation. The actor took a jab at the pushback and said it was better to focus on strengthening one's own value system if one tweet rattled one's belief.
Moving on to our next story, the Delhi Assembly's budget session will begin from 8th of March, with the budget likely to be presented on 9th of March. The decision was taken in a cabinet meeting chaired by Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Monday.
The budget session for 2021 to 2022 will begin on 8th of March and end on 16th of March. The budget for 2021 to 2022 is expected to focus on key areas of health, education and infrastructure, including water supply, and new taxes are unlikely. The government had presented a Rs 65,000 crore budget for 2020 to 2021 that was around 10% more than that in 2019 to 2020.
The Congress has to change and be humble to fight the arrogance of the BJP, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi said on Tuesday, asserting that after 2014, the opposition is fighting the battle for India and not for getting power.
In a conversation with India's former chief economic advisor Kaushik Basu, now a professor in Cornell University in the United States, Mr. Gandhi said the Congress party has to open itself to the people, to submit itself to them, bringing together resistance against the Modi government.
Moving on, Karnataka Water Resources Minister Ramesh Jarkiholi has resigned on moral grounds after an alleged sex tape was aired by local news channels.
Ramesh Jarkiholi said in his resignation letter addressed to Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa, "Allegations against me are far from truth. Clear investigation is needed. I will come out innocent and I am confident about it. I am resigning on moral grounds and I request you to accept this." Ramesh Jarkiholi gave his resignation after directions from the BJP High Command. His brother and BJP MLA Balachandra Jarkiholi has sought a CBI probe into the matter and threatened to file a Rs 100 crore suit against those who released the fake CD. The purported video showing the Karnataka minister getting intimate with unidentified women were widely aired by Kannada news channels.
All right, expressing views that are different from government opinion cannot be termed as sedition, the Supreme Court said today, dismissing a petition against Jammu and Kashmir MP Farooq Abdullah.
83-year-old Mr. Abdullah is National Conference Member of Parliament from Srinagar. The former Chief Minister and his son Umar Abdullah were among scores of leaders detained to prompt any protest after the historic move to abrogate Article 370 and convert Jammu and Kashmir into the Union territories.
The government said hospitals do not necessarily have to stick to a fixed schedule to vaccinate people against COVID-19 and can extend or advance the vaccination schedule any day. This will help to speed up the vaccination drive as more and more people become eligible for the life-saving jabs.
Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan tweeted in Hindi, the government has removed time constraint to increase the speed of vaccination. People can get vaccinated 24/7 at their convenience. Prime Minister Narendra Modi understands the value of both time and health of the citizens. The centre has asked states and union territories not to store or create buffer stocks of COVID-19 vaccines a day after the start of second phase of the inoculation drive, in which the coverage has been expanded to include those above 60 and those over 45 with specified illness.
Let's bring you the latest on the COVID figures in the country. India's COVID-19 tally caseload crossed 1.11 crore mark with 14,989 new coronavirus cases and 98 deaths reported in the past 24 hours. Remember, this is the government data shared by the Health Ministry coming up early this morning. Amid concerns of a third wave, more than 13,123 people successfully fought off the viral disease, taking the overall recoveries to 1,7,98,291. The country now has 1,11,39,516 cases and more than 1,57,000 lives lost due to COVID-19, whereas Telangana recorded 168 new COVID-19 cases and 0 fatality. Let's shift our focus to Telangana, where a 29-year-old software engineer in Cyberabad was stabbed on Tuesday by an alleged stalker who entered her apartment complex and attacked her with a dagger. The man was reportedly known for women for at least 2 years. She had reportedly rejected his proposal several times.
The incident happened at Lakshmi Nagar colony under Narsingi police station limits in Cyberabad Commissionerate at 7:40 p.m. The woman had filed a police complaint last week about the harassment by the man. The accused, Salman Shahrukh, allegedly scaled the wall of the apartment complex and entered the woman's flat. He has been arrested. Senior police officer Venkateshwar Lu said the woman was taken to the hospital. In a mobile video, the woman is seen injured on her chest and abandoned and lying unconscious on a chair in her house, while her parents held her as they waited for medical help. State BJP chief Bandi Sanjay reportedly visited the hospital to ask about the condition of the woman.
3, including school principal, student and teacher, tested positive for the coronavirus at Government School of Elapur village in Korotla Mandal of Jagtial district. The incident came to fore when student developed symptoms of virus and underwent rapid antigen test.
After the results turned positive, the tests were conducted on an entire school staff and students. The reports of Principal Lokani Srinivas and Telugu teacher Anuja came positive. Following the incident, the healthcare officials took up sanitization works of the school before closing it.
Today, a couple was caught in possession of bullets at Rajiv Gandhi International Airport in Hyderabad. The security at the airport found the bullets in the bag of passengers who were heading to United States.
The couple are said to be native of Gurajala, Guntur district. The airport police detained the couple and sent them for questioning. A case has been booked under relevant sections of the IPC. The police also found no supporting documents or valid license to justify their possession of the ammunition.
In an inhuman case, a woman threw the son of her brother-in-law from the second floor of the building after a severe criticism from her relatives for not having a child. The incident took place on Tuesday at Eidi Bazaar of Old City.
According to the inspector of Bhavani Nagar, two brothers, 32-year-old Muhammad Ihtishamuddin and 27-year-old Shujauddin, were residing in the same building. Ihtishamuddin and Asma got married 6 years ago, and the couple had a daughter who died 5 days after she was born. However, the couple later gave birth to a son, Nomanuddin, 3 years ago. On the other hand, Shujauddin got married to Aisha more than a year ago and has not had a child. Aisha is said to have been upset over her husband and his nephew with affection. Earlier, she tried to kill the boy, but in vain, and was warned by her family later. On Tuesday, she tied up the boy's limbs and tossed him from the second floor of the building in front of his parents. The boy was rushed to Osmania General Hospital but was declared brought dead. The police took Aisha into custody and are investigating.
Moving on to our international news, a number of Myanmar's neighbors have urged its new military government to release detained civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi and cease using lethal forces against peaceful demonstrators protesting against the army's power to grab last month.
The separate calls by some members of the Association Southeast Asian Nations on Tuesday came as bloc in chair's statement after a special meeting with a representative of military authorities called on all parties and Myanmar refrain from instigating further violence. The virtual talks of the 10-member ASEAN bloc came 2 days after the bloodiest day of unrest since the overthrowing of Aung San Suu Kyi elected government. At least 21 people have been killed since the coup, and activists say more than 1,100 people have been detained, including 6 journalists.
Alright, the United States will have enough coronavirus vaccine doses for every adult in the country by the end of May, President Joe Biden announced on Tuesday, as production of third vaccine is set up to ramp up.
During a news conference at the White House, Joe Biden said he had invoked a wartime production law to require pharmaceutical company Merck & Company to help produce a newly approved vaccine made by Johnson & Johnson. The United States already had contracts with Pfizer and BioNTech and Moderna to supply 300 million COVID-19 vaccine doses, enough to vaccinate all adults by the end of July. But the addition of third viable vaccine and additional manufacturing capacity pushed that timeline forward.
Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan told French President Emmanuel Macron that cooperation between two countries have very serious potential as NATO members work to normalize ties after bitter dispute last year.
In a statement, the Turkish presidency said on Tuesday, Erdogan told Macron in a video call that dialogue between two leaders has always played an important role in relations. Erdogan said, as two strong NATO allies, we can make significant contribution to peace, stability and peace efforts in wide geography from Europe to Caucasus, the Middle East and Africa. He noted 2021 marks the centennial of the Ankara Agreement, which is the basis of Turkish-French bilateral relations, and said the two countries have serious cooperation potential. Erdogan said the two nations can take joint steps to fight terrorism, stressing it threatens both countries and their people. We hope Turkey and France can act in solidarity on all these issues.
Before we wrap up our bulletin, let's have a look on our headlines.
Filmmaker Anurag Kashyap, actor Taapsee Pannu faces income tax raid. After 2014 election, opposition fighting battle for India, not for power, says Rahul Gandhi. Karnataka minister quits on moral ground amid row over alleged sex tape. Expressing views different from government's not sedition, says Supreme Court. 29-year-old software engineer stabbed at home by stalker in Cyberabad, says police. Woman throws 2-year-old boy from second floor of building in Hyderabad. In talks with Myanmar military, Association of Southeast Asian Nation urges halt to violence. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan tells Macron cooperation has very serious potential.
These were all the updates. More news on the other side. Thank you for your time. For more news, stay tuned to Siyasat TV.